Welcome to Ascending with Venus Castleberg, a space where we explore the journey of spiritual awakening, expanding your consciousness and raising your frequency to create a whole new world. We'll dive into the possibilities that open up when you choose to follow the whispers and trust your inner knowing. Each episode is designed to guide you in expanding your awareness, tuning into your intuition, and discovering the magic of your life every day. We'll talk about living aligned with your soul's purpose, going beyond limitations, and creating a life and a world worth celebrating. You are here to embrace who you truly are and step into the infinite potential that's waiting for you. Let's ascend together. And now, here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone, and welcome forward. I took us on a journey forward in that we changed days of the week just due to some scheduling, some new things coming up in my life that I needed to open up my schedule for. So if you're out there, say hello in the comments. I love seeing that we have some live people online. As always, well, as long as we're not pre-recording, you can call in 202-720. I think I forgot it. So we will post it in the comments, and you can you can call in if you'd like to call in. I crack myself up sometimes. Sometimes my memory is great, and sometimes I have CRS, which is can't remember. So hi, Astra, welcome. I don't know how you guys have been doing out there. I'd love to see you in the comments, or again, you can call in 202-570-7057. I'm always happy to talk to you guys out there. If you have questions, if you have things coming up in your life and you want to talk about them, this is your call. So you are welcome to call in and talk to me. I promise I'll be nice. But I don't know how you've been doing out there. You can leave a comment below, but since December of last year, I've definitely been going through, I'm sure I've been going through something for the last couple of years, but it seemed a little bit more intense the last 4 months. And I liken it to thinking about like a caterpillar. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I thought it was a fun fact. A caterpillar doesn't actually know why it's weaving a cocoon. So it's just instinct, right? It just goes up, it weaves a cocoon. I've also heard that the actual transformation of a caterpillar from caterpillar to butterfly is not a very pleasurable process. And I'm being honest with you, that's actually kind of how I felt. I felt like I put myself in a cocoon, have been going through some sort of metamorphosis. I'm excited for the metamorphosis on one level, and on the other level, I am so uncomfortable, like very uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. And what's right about that? So I know it's always working out in our favor. I also learned not too long ago, and maybe you guys didn't know this, but you can actually have multiple dark nights of the soul. So I was like, oh, great. One wasn't enough. Let's sign up for 2, 3. So that's what it's felt like for me. Has definitely been going through this huge shift in my life. And I am excited to see what comes of it. And I feel like clarity is imminent. And of course, once clarity is imminent, I receive that clarity, I will gladly share it with you. But in the meantime, I'm here to share some things I've learned along the way, hopefully contribute to some of you out there. I love hearing your stories and about your lives changing. That truly is why I'm here. So thank you for you. So today we're diving into what's often overlooked in the whole clairs is the clairsentience, clair knowing. It's clear knowing. It's like when you know something that nobody else knows, right? And there's different spectrums of this, just like anything, right? So It could be something as simple or seemingly simple as, hi Simon, welcome, as um like, don't eat that. Or like somebody else orders a food and you're like, yeah, my body says no to that, but my body says yes to this. Like, that's a knowing that your body has. Our body is this amazing sensory tool that is constantly giving us information. Hi, Vanessa, welcome. And like, we're sensing, perceiving, knowing things all around us all the time. Like, my body, and some of us are even more so than that. Like, I know my body is a healing body, and so it's constantly trying to heal people all the time and take stuff out of people's bodies. But what I've had to actually come to have a conversation with my body about is like, not everybody wants to be healed. Not everybody is asking for healing. Not everybody is asking to change. And so I've asked my body, and maybe this is a contribution to you because we really are psychic SpongeBobs walking around. We're aware of everyone and everything going on the planet, with governments, right? All of it. We're aware of all of it. People suffering, people challenged, people sad, right? But what I did was I actually sat down with my body. Yeah, Astra says not everybody wants to know. Exactly. Not everybody wants clarity at all. Is to talk to my body first and foremost. And I'd love for you to do this for yourself if this is ringing true for you right out of the gate. If you feel like your body is just this, like you're constantly healing other people, is to just put your hands on your body. Say, hi, body. And maybe just acknowledge your body. Just be like, and this is what I did with my body. I'm like, body, I know that you're a healer. And I want to acknowledge you. You've done a great job. You've healed a lot of people, thousands upon thousands of people. For those of you who don't know, I have 25 years of being a massage therapist on top of everything else. So I've touched a lot of bodies. I've done a lot of healings. But like I said, not everybody wants, and not everybody wants healing, right? So, and that's a great question, Simon. Simon says, is it your body or your soul? Hi, Ron. So it could be either one. But right now, just ask your body, truth, body, are you a healer? Maybe your soul's a healer. Maybe both of them are healers, right? My body is also a healer. Like, I'm a healer. My spirit is a healer for sure. But my body is also a healer. And it's constantly trying to take stuff out of other people's bodies. And so who suffers? So information that helped me a ton when I learned this 10 years ago or so is that you can't take anything from anyone. Hi, Bob. So if you can't take anything from someone, so now you both have it. You've like literally tried to take it out of their body, and now you're both struggling with it because it's their path, right? So it's actually superior to think that we can take things out of people and heal it for them if they don't want it. Oh, I'm so glad you're healing. I'm so glad, Bob. That's awesome. So if your body's a healer, it's like, okay, great. Body, you've done a great job at healing and helping people, and right, especially all the people you didn't want help, you still tried to help them. Great job. But what I told my body was like, you know what, body, you don't have to do that anymore. It's not a kindness to you, and it's also not a kindness to them because we're trying to heal something that they didn't ask for healing for, Like it's different if I have somebody come into my office and go, okay, can you help me with this? Absolutely. I'm happy to work with anybody who's saying, I want a session. Can you help me? We can work on it. Absolutely. But I'm talking about just all the people that you're walking around, you're in the grocery store and you walk by somebody and you're like, oh, great example. I trail run. I love to run on trails. Love it. It makes my body happy. I get so much joy out of it. I do not have knee problems, but inevitably I will run by somebody who's hiking a trail that either one has knee problems or has a point of view about knee problems. And suddenly my knee will start to hurt. And I'm like, not mine. Return to sender. Now, return to sender doesn't mean I'm giving it back to them in spades. I'm not cursing them. I'm not doing anything. It's just an acknowledgement of like, hey, this isn't mine. So I'm going to return it to sender and not let my body try to take it out of their body, right? Obviously, they weren't in my office. They weren't asking me for like, hey, could you work on my knee beliefs or my bum knee at all? So instead, I'm like, no, not mine, return to sender. I learned that with access consciousness as well. Just a great tool of like, yeah, you can, Marcy says, but you can feel it, right? You can be aware of it for sure. But if you're aware of it, acknowledging that you're like, yes, I'm aware of that body. Great. You showed me what was going on for that person. And it's not mine, return to sender. They're not in my office asking for help, return to sender. Right? So that you can be like, okay, body, what's true for me? Like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to function in the world? Right? And I've had people that have had even really strong diseases that were not theirs. So you're like, maybe you're going, oh, okay, so how do I find out if it's mine or not? Just ask yourself, truth, is this mine? And if it's not yours, then return to sender, right? Now, I know that might sound too simple. Sometimes it works really simply like that, like the knee stuff. I'll be running, jogging, having knee pain, run by that because I ran by that person. Oh, not mine, return to sender, knee pain goes away. Like it is instant, right? So absolutely no doubt. Have I had other things that have lasted longer? Yeah, because I wasn't really listening to my body. Now, you may be like, well, what does that mean, listening to your body? Well, the body is going to throw you pain. It's going to throw you rashes. It's going to throw you dis-ease, right? That's actually dis-ease. It's going to throw things at you until you listen. Now, listening may be, hey, I'd really like you to not eat that food. I'm going to say that sometimes. That's not always. And I am going to say a lot of bodies, because we've been programmed to believe that everything that we're like, I don't know about you. I was even a nutritional counselor 25 years ago. So I've done the whole nutrition thing. So I had to unravel a lot of things that I was taught and really listen to my body. And my body, most of the time, I'll be like, oh, was that something I ate? My body's like, it's not the food. It's almost like my body rolls its eyes at me and goes, it's not the food. Stop saying it's always the food. And I was like, okay, what is it? But listening. And this is part of the clear knowing that our bodies give us all the time. And if you're willing to just listen, like I had a rash for a really long time, and I finally just stopped. I started to just meditate and just be with it and just be like, body, what are you trying to tell me here? What is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how can I change it? But then, like, if we have this knowing, and sometimes it's a gut instinct, sometimes it's a, physical symptom, sometimes but it's like, are we listening to that clear knowing? And sure enough, I'll listen for a little while and then I'll stop listening. And then my body will start to like have this rash again. And then it's like, oh, wasn't listening again. So then I start to listen again, pay attention. What are you trying to show me? I knew of this gal who did this practice, and she used to have horrible gut stuff, and she used to think her gut stuff was like food and diet, like this is common, right? And so it was like she was always doing all these supplements and she was always doing all these things to like heal her gut. And then finally one day her gut started, she like didn't eat anything in particular that was different, and her gut started acting up, and she's like, okay, hang on a second, body, what are you trying to show me? And she had this like pull to like go to the window. And when she got to the window, she said, she like looked down the street and she saw this two men arguing down the street. And she's like, oh, body, were you trying to show me that? Or were you trying? And instantly the stomach stuff went away. Her body was just trying to let her know that there were two men arguing down the street, and probably one of them was having, was upset enough that their stomach was hurting, right? But I don't know. That's just a hypothetical connection. But the truth is the body is aware. It's a sensory organism. It's here to sense everything, feel everything. And if we don't judge it or make it wrong or bad, and we're like, oh, okay, body, what are you trying to show me? Oh, body, you know what? Great job. I'd love to go back to that for those of you. Like, just put your hands on your body, maybe your heart and your stomach, and just be like, body, it's so great how aware you are of everything. And you know what? You don't have to heal everyone. As a matter of fact, let's only save the healing stuff for people who come for a session or come to a class or come to, right? But like people who are asking for it, because then that brings up, interesting that this is coming in too, but like it's really important. And I know I talk about this occasionally because it's something I struggled with for a really long time, that there's an energetic exchange, right? It's depleting for me, and I'll speak for me, and you can look at it for yourself, but it's depleting for me to just go around and do everything for free for everybody all the time and not get paid for it in some way. It doesn't have to be money. It can be money. I think money is great, but it can be, I mean, heck, we used to live on the barter system before there was money. Oh, you have potatoes? Awesome. I'll take some potatoes. Here's some bread. Like it's just what we used to do, right? So, but we can still do that. But there needs to be an energetic exchange. So if you're somebody like me, and this is something I've really had to work through, and I still have moments of it. Like I get really depleted because I'm always wanting to give, right? And so I have to like stop giving all the time and find ways to receive. And whether that's receiving from others, whether that's receiving from the earth, the land, whether it's receiving, I don't know, go get a massage. When was the last time you got a massage, right? Like taking care of your body and taking care of yourself, but also filling up your tanks. I've always known that you can't fill up a tank with an empty tank. But it never really clicked for me until I thought about, how do you give gas to a tank in another car if the gas tank in the car is empty? You can't, because there is none. You can't give water to somebody that if you don't have any water. Like, it's not possible. So there's so much of this, like, we should give, but you can't give what you don't have, right? Like, you can't give money if you don't have any money, if you're broke. So can we receive more? Maybe not from that It might not even be from that one person, but there is some receiving. I mean, a lot of you guys, and I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful you're here. Thanks for coming live at our new day and time. That's awesome. But you've reached out to me and told me, hey, you know, what you said really changed things for me. Thank you. That is such a gift for me. And I will receive that very gratefully. And see right there, energetic exchange. I gave something to you, you gave something, gratitude back to me, right? So it doesn't have to, again, this isn't necessarily about money. I think money's also important, but it's not, it's just that, are you receiving for what you're gifting? And that was the other conversation I had to have with my body, which is just like, hey, body, I know you have this capacity, but we need this to be reciprocal. Like it needs to be a simultaneity of gifting and receiving, not just always give, and always being zapped and tired and, you know, needing to sleep exorbitant amounts of hours or whatever it is, right? Like, I'll get so tired that I'll just have to clear my schedule and I'll just be like, well, that day is not going to happen because I need to rest, right? But I know that that's because I'm over giving or I'm trying to give something that I don't have, right? And maybe in that moment it's energy. So I was actually recently going through some of our past ascending episodes, just kind of glancing at them, not really watching a lot of them, but I'm just kind of always curious, like what were we talking about 7 months ago? And 7 months ago, we actually did one on body. And I was talking about how we have to fill up our tanks, take care of ourselves, right? But there's such a stigmata in, that's probably not the right word, but there's such a expectation in the world that you're supposed to give everything at the expense of yourself. And I didn't know I was going to go here today, but I actually really, really don't agree. And that's because I've spent years of doing that. At this point, it's like, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you comment in the comments, it gives me an energy boost. It's a gifting and receiving, a simultaneity that's happening at the same time. This is a great example. It's just being like, hey, you know, a comment, right? I go through that a lot when I eat things I shouldn't. Yep, absolutely. But like that willingness to engage is a simultaneity of gifting and receiving. If I was just to sit here for an hour every week and talk and none of you would comment and none of you would call in, you still don't call in that often, but that's okay. I won't hold it against you. You still comment. So, but if like nothing, like if I was just talking to my screen every week, I'd be like, yeah, what's the point? Like, because there's no, you know, back and forth. Like when you're with your friends, it's like you want to have a conversation with them. You're talking back and forth. There's a gifting and receiving that's happening, right? When I was doing massage, it's gifting and receiving because I'm happy to serve, but I'm getting paid for it, right? So, yeah, Simon. So thank you for bringing that up, because I think that's actually going to be our meditation today, is like, how do we fill ourselves up? And part of that is remembering that we don't have to be the ones to give all the energy. So energy is infinite. Resources are infinite. Like money is even infinite, believe it or not. Yeah, so Vanessa says, I feel that way when I comment and no one read. Absolutely, right? Because you want to be, everybody wants to be acknowledged, but acknowledgement is part of that gifting and receiving, right? I don't catch everybody's comments. I try to, but like, you know, it's like, but that, it's that like, where do we get filled up? But part of that is, I know, and I did this for a long time too, is I believed that I was always giving or gifting from my energy. I do my best to not do that anymore. It doesn't mean I don't always do that, but sometimes I still do. But for the most part now, I know that I am part of Source and I'm part of that infinite energy. I'm part of the infinite resources. And that if I, like, say, if I felt drained right now, what I could do is ask my spiritual team to contribute to me, which I did before this show. And they stepped right up to help. By the way, your spiritual team will never interfere with your choices. But if you ask them for help, they are always happy to oblige. So I asked them for energetic contribution. They gave me a boost. I suddenly had a bunch of energy. I was like, oh, okay. Also, drink a lot of water. It does help. But that, like, willingness to receive the energy that comes from Source, and that if the Source energy is infinite and it's flowing through you and you're sending it to somebody else, isn't that different than coming from maybe your own tank or your own body, and you're just trying to give that energy away? Notice this too. If you're pulling energy from the universe through your body and sending it to somebody else, where does the energy go first? Anyone have any ideas? It goes through you. So you get a boost of energy before you send energy to somebody else's. Yeah, absolutely. It is unlimited. Yep. Thank you, Simon. Yep. I can connect to the source for energy. You can. And it's unlimited. It is limitless, right? It's infinite. It never ends, right? You don't go outside. Or here's a great example, and then we'll take a short break. But do you ever run out of air? Maybe if you're underwater, but no, air does not run out until you take your last breath, right? But there's still air. So even though your body took its last breath, there's still air. So air, seemingly at the moment, is infinite. Cool. Thank you, Ron. Simon, Astros. Thank you, guys. So if we looked at energy the same way, it's like, oh, wow, I need some more energy, or I'm feeling kind of depleted, or, like, wow, I could use a boost. Take some deep breaths, not just, the surface. Take some deep breaths and see how that helps. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to do a meditation and tap into that source energy and kind of work with our clear knowing a little bit more. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome forward, everyone. Thank you again for joining me today. I love it. Simon says, loving yourself gives you energy. Absolutely. Because what does judgment do? It depletes your energy, right? Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. I am happy to contribute, and thank you for contributing back. So I didn't know we were going to go so deep into healing and body healing, but I know that this is something that I've struggled with, and maybe some of you out there are struggling with it too, of just feeling like you're trying to heal the world or change the world, and you're doing it from an empty tank. So how do we fill that tank up? There's all sorts of ways we can fill that tank up. Of course, we could go outside. That's a big one for me. Take a bath. But I will say this, there's been times when even my go-to things haven't been working so well to fill up my tanks. And so then I'm looking at it, okay, well then what does my body require? Where do I need to go? And then trusting that instinct. And it might be something random, like suddenly your body's like, I'd really like to go on a retreat. And again, it's going to be different for everybody, but like, what is your body asking for? Is it asking for you to take some time off? And I did for the last, like I said, 4 months or so, I went into that cocoon, knowing that something cool was coming out the other side, but, and I don't think I'm completely out of it yet, but I'm definitely, big things are changing for me. But like that willingness to be like, okay, I kind of stopped doing like business creation and stuff like that. I still worked with people if they called me, but it wasn't like an active, creation, which I like to be pretty active in creating things. But it was just like the universe put a pause. I felt like a really strong pull to like, dig in the dirt, and my yard had flooded last year, so I had to fix that this year. But it just felt really good to just get my hands dirty and be outside for longer periods of time and enjoy the sunshine, because springtime here is really nice. Lots of pretty flowers, and we have lots of fruit trees, so they all flower here. But it was just nurturing for my soul, right? So what sort of things can you do that's nurturing for your soul? And sometimes you just got to take a step back. I spent last couple of years, especially last year, I spent a lot of time online, massive creation mode, creating programs. And I could just tell my body was like, I do not want to be in front of the computer that much, right? So what's your body asking for? What do you know, right? Like there's something that you know instinctively. And what would it take for you to contribute that to yourself and to your body? So with that, we're going to do just a little guided visualization here. Not yet. Cool. I think that's in a different language, and I don't know that language, but thank you. If that's not in a different language, I apparently can't read either. So, all right. So just relaxing. We'll start with that breath. Maybe closing your eyes. And just breathe. See if you can breathe all the way down to your feet, to your tips of your toes. And exhale. Breathe in all the way down to your toes. And exhale. Breathe all the way down to your toes. Just allow yourself to say hello to your body. And just for fun, let's lower the walls and barriers, even the ones we don't know about. Destroy and uncreate them. Let them all go. You created them so you can pick them back up later if you like to. But just try it out for this next few minutes. Allow yourself to expand your awareness. And let's say hello to the body. Hello, body. Maybe placing your hands on your heart. Or your hands on your thighs. Breathe in. Exhale out. And just observe, is there something going on in your body somewhere? Maybe it's a dis-ease, maybe it's an itchy spot, maybe it's a tense spot. Wherever it is, just go to that spot that you perceive right now and ask the body, not with judgment, but with just curiosity. Hey, body, what is this? What do you know? What are you aware of? You are a sentient being. You sense things. What is your body sensing? And acknowledge your body for that awareness. Maybe it was a clear communication, or maybe it was more like a whisper or just a knowing. Again, clairsentience is you just know. You just know that the itchy skin you're experiencing right now is one of your neighbor kids that struggles with skin stuff. You just know that you have somebody in your family that has a disease and you've been trying to heal their disease and now you have it. You just know. So what do you know? What does the body know? What's it telling you? And then thank the body. Thank the body for knowing that. Thank the body for sensing that. And maybe you have clarity now, or maybe you'll get clarity later. That's fine. Again, no judgment. We're just playing. But just acknowledge the body, like, great job, body. I know you're aware of something. And maybe I don't really get what it is right now, but you're aware of something. The body also, so if some of you out there are struggling with dis-ease, sometimes the body is just aligning with point of view you have that you're dying to get out of something. So you can ask yourself, what am I dying to get out of here? If that rang true for you, if it didn't, ignore it and just play with the sensing. But is there something that you're dying to get out of? And acknowledging any of your choices is the first step to changing it. So I had a woman who had cancer, and I asked her what she was dying to get out of. And she said she was dying to get out of her marriage. And I invited her to a different possibility, that she could get a divorce instead of dying to get out of it. But if you don't acknowledge what you're dying to get out of, or what you're aware of, what your body's aware of, then you can't change it. So acknowledging where you're operating from is the first step to changing it. So if you felt like you were maybe aware of a neighbor kid or something in your body was telling you something that was going on with somebody in somebody else's life, remember you can return to sender. So you both having it isn't helping anyone. Just return to sender. It's just an acknowledgement like, hey, that's not mine. Return it to sender. And thank your body. Great job, body. You're so aware. You have a knowing of things that I can't even comprehend or cognitively understand most of the time. But you're always aware. Do you ever wonder where those random goosebumps come from? Or the wind that you feel on your face and you're not outside, and there's no fan. Or the warm spots that you feel on your body, or hot flashes maybe that you get at the most random of times. What is your body aware of? What does it know? It took a long time for me to get away from it was always the food. But there was no denying that there was never a connection. I could drink or have the same exact thing 2 days in a row, and one day I would get a hot flash, and the next day I wouldn't. So there was never a connection, a similarity. So I found that the clarity that comes, the knowing that comes from asking a question, pausing and listening. So what is your body telling you right now? And if you haven't already, you can acknowledge that your body has been a healer. But then just tell that your body, like I did, it's okay, body, you don't need to do that anymore. Let's save it for people who are asking for it. Let's save it for people who can receive it. That's the other piece. It's very draining to try to heal or help someone who doesn't want to be healed or helped. It's a waste of energy, time, resources. Breathe in, exhale. So now I want to play with another tool I learned in Access Consciousness called an energy pull. But it's just a great way to connect to the source energy and allow it to flow through you. Just kind of allow the energy to pour in through your head, through your entire body, and then let that energy pour out your heart and send it to the hearts of those people that you care about that maybe could use a little bit of an extra boost right now. But it's not your energy you're sending, it's source energy. And yes, you and source are the same, but it's the belief in the separateness that makes us feel like we have a limited tank of energy in our bodies. And then all the people, the guides, the teachers, the contributors, everyone in your life, with or without bodies, that wants to contribute to you, I want you to now see energy coming from the heavens through the crown of their heads, out their hearts, and watch that energy pour into your heart and fill you up. So many different levels desire to contribute to you. Lower your walls and barriers even more and receive. And then any of the excess energy just pours out your back. It goes into the earth. Or to those you'd like to be connected to, you can trickle energy back to them, creating a connection. Just allowing yourself to be filled up by the energy in both directions. And notice how infinite it is. And it just keeps pouring in, pouring into every cell, every fiber of your being, filling you up from the tips of your toes all the way to the crown of your head. And then the energy just overflows like an overflowing cup. And that excess energy just flows down and around your body and into the earth, contributing to the earth. This is truly how the energy lives and exists and runs all the time, without fail. We just tend to put up walls and barriers to receiving, or we try to contain it. We receive a little influx of energy and money, and then we're like, oh, I need to save that all and put that in a safe. Instead of just letting it flow. Money comes and goes, energy comes and goes, but it's infinite. It's all energy. Just allowing yourself to be aware of this innate state of being that you are already, and that you have access to all the time. It's only when we believe that we are separate, or believe that we are safer behind our walls and barriers, that we separate ourselves from this infinite energy and resources. Breathe in. Exhale. In. Exhale. Allowing your energy to dance, to wiggle, flow, just as the tides of the ocean ebb and flow, come in and out. The energy comes in and out, but it's never ending. The ocean doesn't wake up one day and go, oh, I'm not going to do the tides today. I'm just going to stay still. That's not how energy works. It's not how the oceans work. The oceans are pulled by the moon energy, right? So is the water within you. It is ebbing and flowing in and out, gifting and receiving simultaneously. Breathe in, exhale out. Breathe in, exhale out. As you tapped into this infinite flow of energy between you, source, team, all those in your inner circle that have your back. Allow yourself to be full, to overflow. And receive even more. And when you start to try to contain it or block it because you think like it's too much, lower your walls and barriers even. And breathe in. Exhale out. Receive and let go. Receive and give back with the overflow. That space of infinite energy, infinite connection, resources. What is your body telling you? What is your body telling you? What do you know that maybe nobody else knows? Would you be willing to trust that? Trust yourself. Trust your body. Trust what you sense. Trust what you know. And when you're ready, take a couple of deep breaths. Breathe in, exhale out. Breathe in, exhale out. And slowly come back, wiggling your fingers, your toes, opening your eyes. Thank you for joining us, Brett. And Astra says, I don't know where I went, but it was lovely. That's awesome. Hey, I did my job. Well, so incredibly grateful for you all. And I look forward to see you again next week. This is our new weekly day and time. So I will see you next week. Bye.